First book of Samuel, chapter 15. And Samuel said to Saul, Jehovah sent me to anoint thee king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken to the voice of the words of Jehovah. Thus saith Jehovah of hosts, I have considered what Amalek did to Israel, how he set himself against him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and destroy utterly all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. And Saul summoned the people, and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen, and 10,000 men of Judah. Verse 5. And Saul came to the city of the Amalekites, and set an ambush in the valley. And Saul said to the Kenites, Go, depart, and go down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when ye came up out of Egypt. And the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote Amalek from Havilah as thou comest to Shur, which is opposite to Egypt. And he took Agag the king of Amalek alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. And Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep and oxen, and beasts of the second bearing, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not devote them to destruction. But everything that was mean and weak, that they destroyed utterly. Verse 10. And the word of Jehovah came to Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned away from following me, and hath not fulfilled my words. And Samuel was much grieved, and he cried to Jehovah all night. And Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning. And it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a monument, and has turned about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, Blessed art thou of Jehovah, I have fulfilled the word of Jehovah. And Samuel said, What means then this bleating of sheep in my ears, and the lowing of oxen which I hear? And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, because the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen, to sacrifice to Jehovah thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. And Samuel said to Saul, Stay, that I may tell thee what Jehovah has said to me this night. And he said to him, Say on. Verse 17. And Samuel said, Was it not when thou wast little in thine eyes, that thou becamest the head of the tribes of Israel, and Jehovah anointed thee king over Israel? And Jehovah sent thee on a way, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Why then didst thou not hearken to the voice of Jehovah, but didst fall upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of Jehovah? And Saul said to Samuel, I have indeed hearkened to the voice of Jehovah, and have gone the way which Jehovah sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil sheep and oxen, the choicest of the devoted things, to sacrifice to Jehovah thy God in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Has Jehovah delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in hearkening to the voice of Jehovah? Behold, obedience is better than sacrifice, attention than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of divination, and self-will is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Jehovah, he hath also rejected thee from being king. Verse 24. And Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of Jehovah, and thy words. For I feared the people, and hearkened to their voice. And now, I pray thee, Forgive my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship Jehovah. And Samuel said to Saul, I will not turn again with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of Jehovah, and Jehovah has rejected thee from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned to go away, Saul laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. Then Samuel said to him, Jehovah has rent the kingdom of Israel from thee today, and has given it to thy neighbour, who is better than thou. And also the hope of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent. And he said, I have sinned. Honour me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people, and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship Jehovah thy God. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped Jehovah. Verse 32. And Samuel said, Bring ye near to me Agag the king of Amalek. And Agag came to him gaily. And Agag said, Surely the bitterness of death is past. And Samuel said, As thy sword has made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless above women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before Jehovah in Gilgal. And Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel saw Saul no more until the day of his death. For Samuel mourned over Saul, and Jehovah repented that he had made Saul king over Israel.